Hey, this is Neil with Grade Savers, and today we're doing question number 23 from section 7.2. The question reads, what is the integral from 0 to 1 of x e to the negative x dx? Since we're in section 7.2, we'll be dealing with integration by parts, and the formula for a definite integral is this formula right here. First thing we need to do is select our u. If you guys are having trouble selecting your u for integration by parts, come see me at the Grade Savers office, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. I got a couple of neat tips and tricks you guys would be happy to have. So we'll select our u to be equal to x in this case. So everything else that remains becomes our dv. dv is then e to the negative x dx. In order for us to find du, we simply take the derivative of x, which is 1, and we slap on a dx. 1 times dx is simply dx. In order for us to find v, we find the antiderivative or integral of e to the negative x, which is simply negative e to the negative x. And now let's begin by substituting stuff into our integration by parts formula. This is u times v evaluated from 0 to 1 minus the integral of 0 to 1 of v du. And what we're going to do in the next step is do a little bit of simplification so it's easy to read. X times negative e to the negative x simply becomes minus x e to the negative x. Minus, and now we need to find the antiderivative or integral of this. The negative remains, we could think of that as a negative 1 constant, and the integral of e to the negative x is simply negative e to the negative x, and we need to evaluate this from 0 to 1. Let's do a little bit more simplification. The only simplification we do in this line is this negative times this negative becomes positive. So we're simply left with e to the negative x evaluated from 0 to 1. And now we can begin plugging in our numbers. So let's do the first part, which is right here. We're going to plug in our 1. So it becomes negative 1 e to the negative 1 minus, and we're going to put this in brackets, minus 0 e to the negative 0. And we know this will go to 0 because 0 times anything is 0. Minus, and now let's evaluate this integral. It becomes e to the negative 1 minus e to the 0. And be careful and put this in brackets because this negative sign applies to everything in here. And now it's about simplifying. This is equivalent to minus 1 over e. E to the negative 1 can be rewritten with e in the denominator. This again we can write as 1 over e. And applying this negative sign becomes negative 1 over e. And this becomes e to the 0 becomes 1. But because of this negative sign, negative times negative, it becomes positive 1. So we're simply left with minus 2 over e plus 1. And that's it. Hey, thanks for watching. Grab the PDF from below, and remember the best way to study is to join the Grade Savers review sessions.